Welcome, family, friends, teachers, and most notably, the reason why we're here today, the class of 2017. My name's Allison Lanzone, and I'm the senior class vice president. It's hard to believe that graduation is really here. Today we find ourselves in a new venue for Radnor's graduation that may be unfamiliar to some. However, I hope you'll agree that the location is not so important because when you look around, you are surrounded by the same familiar faces you've been with for the past 12 years. I think a memory we can all hold close to the heart is riding the big yellow school buses here for our final time with our classmates. The large size of our class has never discouraged the camaraderie we have built with each other. Senior year has surely made us closer and more unified, allowing us to pull off a pretty successful senior skip day, which was actually significant enough to cause a bit of an uproar and of course a mass Schoology message to our whole grade. So thank you teachers for bearing with us in our final days as students. The turn of the warm weather brings back memories from the beginning of the school year, when we were thrilled to be leaving our mark by signing our names on the field house. We have left an impact on the ruckus. We have set a standard for LM hallways, and we have definitely left the high school a better place than we have found it. Our ability to support each other through exciting and challenging times reveals the character each individual of our class possesses. We have come a long way in our 4 years at Radnor High School, and I know that we will continue to thrive as we go our separate ways, whether that be college, work, or travel. Thank you, class of 2017, for making these past 4 years incredible. It is my pleasure to now introduce our class treasurer, Lauren Coffey.
Hi everyone, my name is Lauren Coffey and I have had the honor to serve as treasurer of the class of 2017 for the past 3 years. Being a part of student council, I've had such a great time working with students and teachers to coordinate fundraisers and events. But none of this would have been possible without the help of our executive director of student affairs, Matt Palmer. Besides being an integral part of student council's day-to-day activities, Matt participates in band and is also the captain of the Radnor Boys Crew team. Having worked with him for the past 3 years, it is my honor to be able to present to you Matt Palmer.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Lauren, and thank you to everybody. It is truly an honor and a privilege to be speaking here at graduation tonight. I've attended graduation all 4 years that I've been at Radnor, and although each ceremony has been special to me, my most memorable before tonight was the one my freshman year. I experienced a lot of new things my freshman year, from my first LM week to my first finals week, and my unfamiliarity with this newfound freedom in high school made it hard to balance everything at times. But as I struggled through my first year of high school, I watched as the seniors experienced their final year like professionals, creating memorable senior dances at LM Week, getting into amazing schools, and accomplishing things I never thought possible of a high school student. Those seniors became role models to me, and as I sat there at that graduation and watched them walk across the stage for that final time, I pictured what my life would be like when it was my turn to take the stage. I began to develop a vision for my senior year. The people I might be close with, the things I might achieve, and the experiences I would share with my classmates. I carried that image with me over the next 2 years, and as time went on, I grew more and more confident that it would play out just as I expected. Entering my senior year, I was excited to finally realize this vision, but shortly into the year, I found that friendships I thought would last drifted away in lieu of others, that colleges I wanted to attend had not accepted me, and that these goals I set for myself were starting to fall out of reach. It felt like my senior year was slipping through my fingers, and that I was failing my freshman self for not stopping it. I continued to feel this way for a while, but it was not until I finally chose my college, wrapped up my classes, and completed my crew season that I took a step back and looked at the big picture in my senior year. And all at once, my view of it changed entirely. I realized that while I did not have the senior year that I wanted to experience, I had the senior year that I needed to experience, the one I was meant to experience. I grew as a person, learned things about myself and about the world, and accomplished so much, not only as an individual, but as a member of the class of 2017. I did not fail myself by failing to stick to the script of my senior year, as I wrote it 3 years earlier. I honored myself by having a great final year at Radnor. Graduation is a turning point for all of us, whether you're going off to college, entering the workforce, or taking time to travel and help others. And because of this, it is natural to think about the life you may live beyond your 4 years here, just as I pictured my senior year sitting at my very first graduation, back there in the band where those guys are. As you proceed into this new life, I believe it is important for you to keep two things in mind. First, stay true to the person you are today. As things get crazy later on in life, you may get caught up in the chaos of it all and lose sight of your goals and ambitions. Remembering the vision you had for your future on this day can help you check your path as you embark on it. More importantly, let this vision change. Let it be dynamic. And forgive yourself if the life you live out is not the one in your head today. The places you go after graduation will make you into a better person. And if you allow yourself to be limited by what you thought you might do, you will miss out on doing what you are really capable of. So, Radnor class of 2017, take pride in the life you have lived thus far and take pride in your future, because I know that we are all capable of accomplishing amazing things. Now it is time for me to switch gears and introduce our next speaker. On the subject of having a vision for your future, Anna Duffy is a Radnor student who has always had a clear vision of the direction of her life. As fifth graders, the yearbook asked our class what we will be in 20 years. Where I claimed that I would be a retired baseball player and a Texas Hold'em professional, Anna predicted that she would be, and I'm quoting here, a United States Senator and a mother of 2 girls. It's a fifth grader. In middle school, Anna was notorious for falling asleep on her laptop at 1 o'clock in the morning, trying to boost her 8th grade report card in the hopes that she would get into Princeton University. Although she never ended up going down the path towards becoming a Tiger, she will still be attending the lesser-known Harvard University, which is often referred to as the Princeton of Cambridge, Massachusetts. This last year alone, Anna has been senior class president, captain of the crew and swim team, the head of her own children's banking camp, a member of Model UN, one of the strongest students at Radnor, and so much more. As Anna goes forward in her life, there will be many uncertainties, just as there will be for all of us. But as far as I'm concerned, there are 3 guarantees Anna has to seek comfort in. 1, she will always be one of the most driven, hardworking students to come out of Radnor. 2, she will always have the unconditional support of her amazing friends, family, and colleagues, myself included. And 3, she will always be the president of the Radnor class of 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce to you future United States Senator and mother of 2 daughters by the age of 32, Anna Duffy.
Thank you, Matt. Hello, friends, family, teachers, and most notably, our class of 2017. So before I begin, I'd like everyone to take a quick look around and just savor the moment, because this may just be the last time that we all sit in one room together. Now, how did we get here? I can still picture myself starting first grade, groaning about the end of summer, while my parents chided, "Buckle up, you've got a long 12 years ahead of you." But those 12 years have been anything but long. In fact, they have been the best 12 years. So I'd like to thank you, class of 2017, for these unforgettable years, because time truly flies when you're having fun. I remember back in Camp Canadensis 7 short years ago. Despite a few eventful injuries, by the end of those 3 sunny days, we had walked away with some new lifelong friends. Since then, our grade has accomplished so much. Year after year, our classmates put on Broadway-like productions. We have seen Central League and district titles, and even state championships, FBLA awards, Model UN trophies, and so much more. Each of these incredible memories was only made possible because of the ever-present support of the Radnor community. Our loud and insufferable Radnor ruckus at every game, whether it was to root along the Gents as they raced towards the district championship, or to sit in the rain and support our teams, even when they were down. Our teachers, there to encourage us along despite terrible cases of senioritis and Radnor's worst ever epidemic of the flu. And finally, our parents there to cheer us from the sidelines or haggle us to bring up those grades. Now we are taking flight into our next journey full of unknowns and new challenges. I know we will feel uneasy at times, and I'm sure there will be moments when all of us feel alone. In these moments, let us find strength in the foundations of support that Radnor gave us, and in the friendships that will endure regardless of the distance. Just as we did at Radnor High School, we will continue to root for each other, to support each other in tough times, and to celebrate in our collective successes. Outside of my bedroom hangs a sign that reads, "What would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail?" A year ago, I was forced to ask myself that question. As some of you may remember, I served as your freshman class president, but then went on to lose sophomore and junior year. By the time senior officer elections had rolled around, the sting of defeat was still very real for me, and I was nervous to run for president and risk a third consecutive loss, even though I knew how badly I wanted to represent each of you and the Radnor community. The risk was worth it to me, though. And I didn't do it alone. I would have never worked up the courage to run unless I was supported and encouraged by my friends and family. That leap of faith allowed me to spearhead projects like LM Week, our courtyard renovations, and prom. And I will be forever thankful for those opportunities. So in the years to come, let's never be afraid to act on heart and insatiable curiosity. Whether that means taking the intimidating class just because it sounds interesting, making a new friend, taking our shot at a latest job application or the audition, or simply getting involved with an organization or cause that we care deeply about. That is my challenge to each of us next year. I've seen it firsthand that some of you are lucky enough to already know what you're passionate about, and I hope you continue to pursue those passions. But most of us, we're still trying to discover our purpose, and that means taking risks. As we move forward into the next chapter with new core studies, jobs, or perhaps in the armed forces, let's remember to continue to draw strength and courage from the legacy that we have left behind at Radnor. We are so fortunate to come from a community where we have the support and encouragement to follow our dreams. And while we continue to find our meaning in the world, let's remember the title of one of Alice Walker's books. We are the ones we have been waiting for. Class of 2017, let's never stop making Radnor proud. Congrats. And now it is my pleasure to introduce our principal, Mr. Dan Bechtold.
Good afternoon, class of 2017, and congratulations on the tremendous accomplishment that stands before you. The honor of becoming a Radnor graduate is something that you will carry with you for the rest of your lives. I commend you. You have succeeded in graduating from one of the best high schools in the country. The world lies before you. Your possibilities are endless. My wish for you is that your life is filled with the wonder and energy of LM, the love and friendship of Kindness Week, the spirit and camaraderie of the ruckus, and the curiosity and passion to pursue your dreams that you have demonstrated countless times. I speak for all those gathered today in saying that we're proud of you. Congratulations. This afternoon, I have the pleasure of introducing our keynote speaker, Mr. Mubarak Lawrence. A proud Radnor High School and Radnor ABC House alumnus, Mr. Lawrence exemplifies grit, resilience, and ambition. His journey to and post-Radnor has been marked by countless successes. Mr. Lawrence is a 2016 Echoing Green Black Male Achievement Fellow. He's the Vice President of Rising Suns, a nonprofit organization based in Philadelphia whose purpose is to improve the lives of underprivileged youth. Mr. Lawrence is also a board member for the Radnor ABC House. I've had the opportunity to observe Mr. Lawrence work with students this year as part of the Radnor Township School District's Diversity Initiative, and can attest to you that you'd be hard-pressed to find a more passionate believer in the positive impact students can make in the world in which they live. We're honored to have him here today. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mubarak Lawrence.
Wow. How you guys feeling tonight? Oh, wow. Is that all you can do? Class of 2017, how are you guys feeling tonight? All right. There's something we used to do in City Year when I graduated, or Sinus, we used to have how y'all feeling, and then you would respond fired up. So I want to just do that with you because this is a groundbreaking day in your life. So when I say how you guys feeling, you guys are going to shout fired up, all right? Ready? How you guys feeling? You could do better. How you guys feeling? All right, I think you got a little fire burning. So I wanted to start by saying it is an honor and a privilege to be in front of you all tonight. I am a Radnor graduate, class of 2006. I am a dinosaur compared to these young people here today, and they make sure they remind me of that. And I'm humbled because when I was here, Jay Wright was our actual keynote speaker. And I was so mesmerized by him being on the stage giving the commencement speech, and I want to make this just as memorable for you. It took me a while to write this speech, mainly because I didn't know what I wanted to leave you with today. I know we all are used to the traditional commencement speeches of perseverance and planning for the future, but I wanted to make sure that you left inspired and motivated for the future. We all have a different understanding of purpose within our own lives, although we have similar life experiences. I too went to Radnor High School, and I sat in these seats. And my experiences have led me back into the city of Philadelphia, helping other young individuals in their lives. When I was a Radnor ABC student, I had to develop skills that were suppressed in my neighborhood. In Newark, New Jersey, where I'm originally from, I wasn't allowed to be myself. I was supposed to be a statistic. But as you can see today, I'm beating those odds. After my graduation of Radnor, I decided to follow my path in the collegiate sports. Some of you guys and girls play sports. I attended Ursinus College. I got a merit-based scholarship as a student athlete. It was not my original path, since I always saw myself playing Division I football on ESPN, doing interviews. But obviously, life happens to us all, right? 3 years in college football, and I realized that it wasn't for me, and it was time to set on a new path. I studied economics and business and minored in media communications, but I was unsure what and why I was learning this. As young people, you're going to find out that you're on a path, and sometimes you do not know where it's going. Sometimes you're on a path that maybe your parents or guardian have set out for you. I'm here to tell you that what you think you know and what you want to know sometimes isn't enough. And sometimes you have to put in the preparation and the sacrifices to be successful. We all have this imaginary picture of ourselves in our mind, and sometimes we get a glimpse of that person in reality. The truth is, in order for us to become the person that we want to be in real life, we almost always have to make a sacrifice. In my life, I've made plenty of sacrifices. And as adults and as students, you will be asked to make sacrifices as well. When I graduated college in 2010, a friend had persuaded me to move to Philadelphia and start a nonprofit organization called Rising Suns. All I had was the idea of how to write a business plan and how to balance a spreadsheet, which I probably didn't do too well because I was always calling my mom asking for money on the weekends. But Business and economics helped me gain the confidence to move to Philadelphia. And I knew what I was setting upon was going to change lives. My time in Philadelphia, I worked in the local middle school, Ben Franklin Elementary in Northeast, where I witnessed 14-year-old children that couldn't read or write. Youth violence was and still is at an alarming rate. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Having been in the suburban community of Pennsylvania, I had become disconnected to the struggles of the impoverished, underrepresented, and oppressed communities of the country. I had become a stranger to the environment I had once resided and knew all too well. Experiencing all this led me to start my own nonprofit. We wanted to support the population of forgotten youth and young adults with resources to become more successful individuals. Time and time again, we young people allow others to guide our lives. Only in good faith, though. I can honestly say that there are people, some in this room, who have helped me a tremendous. Caring individuals are what we all need. I don't know where I would be today if it had not been for the caring individuals in my life. As you receive your diploma today, I want you to be thankful for the people, places, and things that have contributed to your success today. No one person can be successful without the help of another. Each child needs a parent, and each student needs a teacher. I'm personally thankful for the few people for believing in me enough to help me succeed along the way. Sometimes in life, people bless you anonymously, and they don't want to benefit off your fame or your success. We need more people like this. People who are self-aware, generous, caring, and giving individuals. You and I both need to be these people. We are the future. What I didn't know when I was sitting in these seats was that I was already on the path to where I am today. And as you sit in these seats, realize you did not waste any of your time. You did not waste your time writing those papers, staying up to 1 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning. You didn't. That time was precious preparation for your future, and life experiences will help you with that. When you're young and navigating life, you rarely take time out the day to self-analyze and evaluate your decisions. But I'm going to tell you again, life is a feeling process, and we all make choices based on feelings. Forget what you think you know and what you should know. Challenge yourself to learn every day and as many times a day as you can. The more knowledge you obtain sways your decisions towards your success. Lastly, there's no mystery that there is separatism and discrimination exists in our world today. We tend to migrate and associate ourselves to communities, places, and things that make us feel comfortable. Nevertheless, we look around our communities and our schools, and we notice that the people tend to be similar in more ways than one. Being an American means getting uncomfortable in times of tension and conflict. In order to grow as a collective, we must first shed our old selves. I refuse to let any politics, religion, literature, or extremist views tell me who I am and what I will be. In current times we live will test our comfort zones and our ability to evolve. You, the youth, can change the mindset of a generation. The political and social climate of our country is becoming more tense and tumultuous by the day. More people are being crushed by the machine, while others are willing to work for self-extinction. The Mark Zuckerbergs and Elon Musk of the world are warning of plans of a technological future. Futures that will eliminate a lot of jobs and economic opportunities for people like ourselves. Could you imagine the effects on millions of people out of work due to robots, taking the jobs that humans once occupied. This is a very real and plausible future that could manifest in our lifetime. My question to you, class of 2017, what will you do to prepare for the tech future that awaits us all? For all my life, I allowed race and poverty to navigate and dictate my future. However, I was learning when I was most uncomfortable and challenged is when I found my true self. I found that labels are the glue that hold the box around your mind together. And the more you ignore those labels, the weaker those walls become, and soon they will topple over. American history is paired with a past we would all like to forget. But we cannot disregard the psychological, generational, and sociological trauma that has been caused. I can stand in front of you today as a recipient of that trauma. I've withstood the mindset that would condemn me to a past, future, and present of oppression and second-class citizenship. The issues we face today have a new agenda, but the goal is still the same, to divide us all. I'm here today to unite us all for a common good. That common good being our children and the futures they will go on to lead. Our children do not deserve to be lied to or suppressed because they are young or inexperienced. We will encourage our children to be risk takers and innovators for the rest of the world. Our children will seize every moment and opportunity in front of them from this day forward. I want us all to promote positivity and togetherness in everyone and everything we come in contact with. There is too much wickedness in this world, and we can't afford to add to that negative energy. Find more compassion in your heart for your fellow human being. If history has taught us anything, it is that we all have a reason to hate one another. But what the present gives us is a chance to make it right and find more reasons to love. I want you to learn to love. Love yourself, love being happy, love peace, love freedom, love equity, and love life. As long as you do that, you will be more successful than you can ever imagine. I want to thank you again for sharing this time and this space with me. I want to appreciate the class of 2017 for all of your hard work and the great things to come. You are the purpose, the change, the future we all need. Thank you, and have a good night.
Thank you, Mubarak. My name is Ken Batchelor, and I'm the superintendent of Radnor Township School District. And it is my absolute honor to be here tonight. Except my biggest regret is that I've only had about 4 months or so to get to know the class of 2017. Class of 2017, you have taught me about Radnor pride and what it means to be a Radnor student. I had a wonderful opportunity to talk with a group of students, and some of you shared with me that one of the things you're most proud of is your high school. I asked you what are the challenges and what things can we do to improve the school, and you all echoed the pride you take in your school. So thank you for taking the time to teach me about Radnor, and yes, I will share the other concerns you gave me as well with Mr. Bechtold, I promise. I want to also thank everyone that's here tonight. I want to thank, first off, all of the Radnor community that has made this day possible. From the kindergarten teachers, to the middle school teachers, to the bus drivers, the support staff, to our school board who's gathered here on stage. All of those people in this community are here for you, the students. And as every one of the other speakers have echoed, that it takes a community, and this community cares very much for all of you. I want to also just take a moment to congratulate the parents in the audience. Last night, my oldest son graduated from high school, so I can relate and understand the milestone that you are enjoying right now, and congratulate all of you as well. I wanted to take a moment and just share a very quick story with the class of 2017. And it's a story that I was first told when I was about your age. I was a freshman in college, and a college professor on the first day, as we walked into class, pulled out a jar of rocks and held this jar of rocks up in front of the class. So I was scrambling yesterday to put together a jar of rocks so I could have some type of symbol to hold. Mr. Bechtold saw me as I was scrambling to find a jar and some rocks around the high school, and he said, "Ken," he said, "listen, come here, come with me. I got something you can use instead of rocks." I said, "Okay, Mr. Bechtold." So we walked to a closet in the high school, and in that closet were thousands of ping pong balls. I did not know what to say. I guess Mr. Bechtold must be one heck of a table tennis player. He has got thousands of them in his closet. Did you guys know that, class of 2017? So I want you for a moment to imagine that this jar, these ping pong balls, are rocks, because I just feel much better referring to them as rocks than ping pong balls, but imagine they are rocks. So the professor stood in front of this class when I was a freshman, and he poured rocks in a jar, and then he slowly took the rocks, and he poured bits of gravel in, and then he poured sand in. And then he looked at us all and said, "Why am I doing this?" And then he explained to us that if he hadn't put the large rocks in first, they all would never have fit. That he had to put the large rocks in first, then the bits of gravel, and then the sand for it all to fit. And then he explained to us that this jar is a metaphor, a symbol for our lives. And the challenge he gave to us many years ago, and the challenge I give to you, the class of 2017, is to figure out in your jar of life which things are rocks, which are the things that are most important to you that you need to tend to every day, which things are the gravel, and which things are the sand, which things are the details in your life. I know for me, the first time I heard this story, some of the rocks have changed. My parents were always a rock in my jar and still exist today as a rock in my jar. But when I first heard this story, I wasn't married. My wife is a really large rock in my jar. I know, that sounds terrible. Good thing she's not here. Maybe if I referred to her as a ping pong ball. Does that sound any better? I have children now that I didn't have before. My children are large rocks in my jar. But some of the other quality traits that I hold important in my life, like honesty, responsibility, hard work, integrity, I hope all of you consider those traits rocks in your jar. I'm sure your academics and those things that are important to you are rocks in your jar. I want you to take time in this transition to think about what are the things that are most important to you that you have to tend to first, and what things are maybe the details. What things are gravel and sand that will fall in place as long as you focus on the big things in your life. I can tell you right now that your successes in life will be that much greater when you focused on what is most important and focus on yourself. Focus on what you need to do to become the person you want to become. And the challenges that you have will be that much more easily dealt with when your rocks are in place. Both the challenges and success are that much greater when you focus on those things that are most important to you. And as a parent of a recent graduate from last night, hang out with your family tonight, okay? It was really nice. My son stayed with us for a dinner, didn't push to go out last night, so be with your family tonight. It's now my pleasure to introduce our valedictorian, Iris Wang. Our valedictorian, Iris Wang, was a 2017 National Merit Scholarship finalist, Vice President of the Asian Culture Club, Co-President of Battle of the Books, a member of the Ultimate Frisbee Club, and played clarinet in the band. She earned the Harvard University Book Award her junior year, which was presented to the outstanding student who combines excellence in scholarship with achievement in other fields, and earned both gold and silver awards in the National German exam. She has played piano since she was 5 years old
and started attending the mainline Chinese school in 2002, graduating in 2014 with distinguished honors. She can speak fluent Mandarin and read Chinese. Iris is interested in the arts and sciences and will attend Swarthmore College. Class of 2017, family and friends, I now welcome your valedictorian, Iris Wang.
Thank you, Mr. Batchelor. Let us begin by thanking all the people who have made our journey possible. Coaches and teachers, friends and family. We stood on your shoulders to be where we are today. But let me also begin at the beginning, before I realized that 2017 was way closer than I had ever thought. I was sitting in my freshman integrated class on the first day of the second marking period, and Mr. Dunbar walked in and said to us, "You have just finished the first 16th of your high school career." At that moment, sitting in that classroom, it seemed as if we had so much time left. We were still just growing into ourselves, embracing who we were and who we would become as high schoolers. Uncertain was the word that defined us. But little did we know that we would close the 16th chapter of high school so quickly, that toaster fires in the cafeteria would soon be numbered, that our time at Radnor wasn't as infinite as it had seemed in elementary school, and that our futures would be as uncertain as they were freshman year. At 5/16, we were no longer targeted by chants of freshmen suck. We basked in our newfound power of not being the youngest in the hallways. But we were still stuck in that in-between uncertainty of sophomores. Not gullible freshmen, but not really upperclassmen either. At 9/16, we readied ourselves for what we heard would be the hardest, most stressful year of high school. We pretended we knew what we were doing and tried our best to keep our grades afloat despite the GPA killing machine that is viewpoints. But that uncertainty stayed with us through physics tests and promposals. And then at 13/16, we thought we were out of the woods. There would hopefully be only 1 or 2 16ths of doubt, then we would have our futures mapped out and defined by the colleges we would be attending. Even college, which most of our lives have been building up to, is a 7-letter code for uncertainty. Because even though we know where we'll be going next year, there still remains the challenge of finding new friends, the struggle of being financially independent, and for some of us, the suffering of having no Wawa within walking distance. But in between those years of uncertainty were moments of certainty, times that told the world that we belonged to Radnor and there was no question about it. Moments like when everyone in the stands rushes the field after a gents victory and all that surrounds us are stadium lights and excitement and each other. Or when the drumline's cadence beats in your chest and you feel proud to be marching for Radnor. Or when the Jurassic Park theme song plays and all you can think of is that black and white LM montage we see every year. These are moments that embody who we are as a school. Amidst the confusion of figuring out where we belong, these are the moments that belong to us. But I can't really capture in a speech that feeling of knowing these little things for sure, because they are fleeting and elusive. I can't convey the collective annoyance over adjusted schedules, or the way we religiously refresh snow day calculator every period in hopes that we won't have to wake up early the next day. These moments when we are bound together in a collective feeling come once in a while to dispel our uncertainty. They are the ones that make the uncertainty bearable. And when we learn to live with the ambiguity of the future, we can seek out those moments of confidence to ground ourselves and find ourselves. They tell us that we are not alone in our attempts to discover our place in the world. Before we have our last shared moment as the class of 2017, before we step out into that future of uncertainty, I would like to say that the past 12 years have been an exercise of discovery. It has been a series of unexpected but welcome twists and turns. The time we have spent together has been more than sitting next to each other in class, more than growing up in the same neighborhood. It has also been inside jokes and sleepovers and building a family out of a team and becoming best friends with your lab partners. All of these things were surprises, things I never thought would happen to me. I never thought that I would join a team sport, let alone ultimate frisbee, or that my friend group would be anything other than all girls and one boy. I came into high school with no expectations, no knowledge of what was to come, but my experience has been so much richer because of that. There is no precise way to go through high school. Every single one of us, even the ones who have taken the same classes and walked in the same social circles, has had a different experience, and we as a class have made Radnor that much more our own. When we walked through the doors our freshman year, we were just wide-eyed middle schoolers with potential. Now, as we walk across this stage on the last day of our senior year, we are once more filled with the potential to shape our future as we see fit. I'd like to conclude with the words of computer scientist Alan Kay. While he worked at a research company for Xerox, his motto was, "The best way to predict the future is to invent it." Class of 2017, go out and invent your future. Embrace the uncertainty that lies in however many 16ths the future holds for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Iris. Our salutatorian, Jessica Pevner, was recently named a 2017 National Merit Scholarship winner, and like Iris, played clarinet in the band and was a member of the Ultimate Frisbee Club. She received the overall MVP award in Ultimate Frisbee her junior year. She also received the Yale University Book Award her junior year, presented to a student with outstanding character and intellectual promise who was active in extracurricular activities. She also received the Baal Shalom Science Award and the Middlebury College Spanish Award. Jessica participated in the Annenberg Science Symposium, served as chief editor of the Radnorite, medaled in the National Spanish Exam, and was a member of the Model United Nations team and the school's Honor Council. Jessica is interested in chemical or biomedical engineering and will attend Yale University. Class of 2017, family and friends, I now welcome your salutatorian, Jessica Pevner.
First and foremost, I would like to thank all the families, teachers, coaches, and administrators who have made today possible. And to Mom, Dad, and Joey, I wouldn't be standing here if it weren't for you. Do you remember the moment when high school started? I mean the moment when it started, when you realized that this is happening. Maybe you were warming up at preseason, or sitting in our first assembly, or taking your school picture. Well, my glorious moment came in none other than Mr. Chip Horner's third period health class. It was the first day of school, and we all got these little pamphlets, getting the most out of high school. And paging through, I started to imagine the vastness of the years ahead of us. And it's hard to believe we're on the other side of that now. 4 years of classes and club meetings, dances, and big games have formed our Radnor High School experience. And looking back on it all, I wish I could tell my wide-eyed freshman self how she could really make the most of high school. I would tell her not to flip straight to the how to get good grades section or pore over the college application timeline. In fact, I'd tell her to put down the stupid pamphlet and take a look at the people around her, because if there's one thing I've learned over the past 4 years, it's that the real secret to getting the most out of high school can't be found in a pamphlet or a textbook or a college confidential blog. It's right here, right now. The classmates, teachers, and family all around us. We are about to graduate from one of the best high schools in the nation, and I say that quite literally. Nobody can deny that Radnor offers a superior education, but when I think about what makes Radnor so special, I don't think about the statistics or the gold medals or the blue ribbons. What makes Radnor Radnor is far less tangible than a list of AP courses or a set of SAT scores. Radnor is that awe I feel watching Pat throw a 40-yard touchdown. It's the chills I get listening to Alna perform her cover of Can't Help Falling in Love, or the panic that sets in when Mr. McBride announces a homework check. It's the pain in my sides from laughing so hard at Claire in Whose Line. It's the aroma of Russ's muffins on Thursday mornings. It's Johnny's willingness to be my public speech coach for the past couple days. It's the astonishment I feel hearing Julian explain quantum theory, or that aha moment after hearing Mr. Bondi explain derivatives in the Math Center. It's the roar of the ruckus echoing Brenny D's chants at a gents playoff game. It's the time that Jax spent writing personal Valentine's Day notes to 500 of her classmates. It's when Mrs. Pearsall asks me how my weekend was. It's the silence that hangs in the air after the last note of the band's halftime show. It's Doc's Waffle Wednesdays. Art museum escapades with Senora Alfonso. The reek of the wrestling room. The thunder of 1,200 cheering students crammed into the main gym to celebrate the 120th LM game. All these little things shape Radnor's image, its energy, its vibe, its heart, and its soul, our spirit. The spirit of Radnor is the conviction to dare, to take risks, to fail eagerly, and to find yourself. And over the past 4 years, in one way or another, we've all gone through these moments. And having done so, we all embody the Radnor spirit. Wherever we may go, we will spread that spirit with us, whether we realize it or not. The Radnor spirit lives on in Wall Street handshakes, in military bases, in Silicon Valley startups, in massive arenas, in classrooms, in courtrooms, in hospitals, and in the lifelong friendships that we've built here. So go forth. Spread the Radnor spirit until it permeates every little corner of the world, but don't forget to cherish it with those who know it best, the people all around you today. Thank you and congratulations, class of 2017.
Mr. Bachelor, Mr. Falcone, and members of the board, for the purpose of awarding diplomas, I present to you the class of 2017.
Anna Lindahl Duffy.
Allison Gwen Lanzone.
Lauren Hayes Coffey.
John Michael Coons.
Meredith Marie Adams.
Yasmin Zohair.
Ansar Shea Ahmad.
Anna Isabel Al-Assad.
Kyler Swift Albany.
Mohsin Raid Al-Hazmi.
Jawan Abdullah Fahan Al-Jawan II.
Sydney Maria Algin.
Brenna Ellen Alvarado.
Natalia Francesca Ambrose.
Andrew Jordan Ames.
Christopher Patrick Austin.
Eliza Azarano.
Kenna Reed Babcock.
Yoon Kyung Beck.
Alexander Sunil Bakoshin.
Aiden Decker Ball.
Tucker Christian Ballback.
Harrison Gray Barone.
Aiden Michael Bermudez.
Alexander James Berniker.
Bonnie Virginia Beverly.
Abanaya Barath.
John Patrick Boudreau.
Evan Shi Zhang.
Andrew Arthur Brajukas.
Lydia Ariana Bozzini.
Owen Dieter Braithwaite.
Sophie Ann Breedveld.
Lauren Elizabeth Brodsky.
Erin Elizabeth Brown.
Jessica Evan Brown.
Samuel Martin Bupp.
Emmett Conway Burns.
Andrew Ryan Camacho.
Allison Norris Carey.
Koei Zhang.
Jillian Dana Carney.
Mary Catherine Carson.
Harrison Lewis Carter.
David Yaoyun Chan.
Jeffrey Jacob Channinson.
Christiana Scotland Charlton.
Ann Chen.
Derek Allen Chettle.
Samantha Lynn Child.
Thomas Lewis Child.
April Marie Child.
Grace Ji-Hae Choi.
Joseph Kim Choi.
Tiffany Chow.
Joshua Jiho Chu.
Hanifa Atia Clark.
James John Clark.
Isaiah Jeffrey Coates.
Darren Teresa Smith.
Kaylee Amber Cohen.
Samantha Jane Campanovo.
Calvin Paul Congleton.
Charles Edward Joseph Connolly.
Grace Calder Constable.
Peter Fisher Cook III.
Jake Thomas Craig.
Ava Marie Cunningham.
Taylor Nicole Curtis.
Mackenzie Shafine Custispanum.
Cirrus Jefferson Darvish.
Jonathan Pizer Davis.
Charlotte Jean Dawson.
Mary Lee Deddens.
Annika Maris DeRoos.
Anna Simone Dersimonian.
Brendan Charles DeSanto.
Jack Anthony Deshan.
Kathleen Saoirse Detrue.
Emma Sarah Dietz.
Donovan Din.
David Evan Patrick Dixon. Luke Boyd Dixon. Harrison Lloyd Doan. Kathleen Louise Dolan. Morgan Dominguez.
Claire Donaher.
Aiden Vincent Donnelly.
Constance Rose Douthwaite.
George Milo Dreyer Wilton.
Jack Ryan Dwyer.
Yosef Mamdou Idris.
Jenna Rose Eggert.
Lucy Jane Elliott.
Brianna Gabrielle Ellis.
Jordan Robert Engel.
Cynthia Sue Ellen Urkel.
Alexander Shepard Escobar.
Brett Victor Ferrali.
Steve Mustafa Fairs.
Patrick McCormick Farron.
Azamat Fazulayev.
Michael Joseph Fitzpatrick.
Quinn Elise Flannery.
Jake William Fox.
Allison Lee Freebowitz.
Dylan Benjamin Friedman.
Pranav Reddy Gadamidi.
Grace Ann Gallagher.
Inkiruka Catherine Eloise Garner.
Julia Evans Getty.
Sammy Nizar Ghazi.
Gregory Donato Gianella.
Andrew Reed Gilbert.
Rebecca Michaela Ginsbarg.
Emily Jane Goldman.
Aiden Jenkins Goodchild.
Chris Ocean Greenwood.
Jackson David Gazelle.
Rachel Margot Wall Har.
Emily Joy Hahn.
Alexander Shale Handon.
Callahan Robert Hansen.
Selena Hargrove.
Grace Elizabeth Hederick.
Megan Marine Hemsher.
Ian William Henkel.
Bradley James Henkin.
Jackson Reed Henry.
John Paul Herbison.
Ricardo Antonio Hernandez.
Colin Edward Hilt.
Alna Elizabeth Hoffmeyer.
Jade Holly Hallman.
Maura Claire Holst.
Nicholas Blair Holtman.
Jian Hung.
James Warren Hoover.
Josephine Carolyn Horkler.
Michael Hoban Hortzman.
Arman Gorelik Hosseini.
Robert William Hoysgard.
Jiayun Hu.
Isabella Porter Hubbard.
Rachel Lauren Hun.
John Stanley Hadrisco.
Sharfin Islam.
Ava Rose Jacobson.
Natalie Ann Jr.
Abra Ophelia Katzman.
Matthew Clothier Kellett.
Evan Stewart Kelly.
Nicholas Bosley Merriman Kemp.
Cecilia Catherine Keneally.
Laura Nora Kerber.
Paige Geraldine Kidd.
Tessa Scholes Kilby.
Yumin Kim.
Gabriella Kim.
Saro Kajori.
Nikita Krayushkin.
Cecily Patrice Laudacina.
Jiwoo Lee.
Jonathan Brian Lee.
David Carvalho Limos.
Catherine Grace Lenhard.
Jordan Christian Leon.
Jessica J.U. Lin.
Julia Catherine Linden Shirleyan.
Catherine Kennedy Lowry.
Natasha Jane Lowy.
Julia Marie Lunger.
Jared Parks Lynch.
Savannah McMillet.
Emily Ann Madden.
Miles Robert Mayasaka.
Emma Rose Majorsack.
Alaire Victoria Meminiscus.
Tobiah Tucker Mandel.
Aileen Claire Mannion.
Sherilyn Zara Markman.
Juljin Zhang.
Alice Elizabeth Marshall.
Giancarlo Michael Massiantonio.
Nicole Jacqueline Massimino.
Mariah Maynard.
Andrew John Mazanik.
William Nicholas McCall.
Kayla Francis McClatchy.
Matthew Patrick McHugh.
Patrick O'Donnell McDermott.
Shannon Amy McGee.
Willem John McGee.
Seth Augustine McGlynn.
Valentina Christine McGlynn.
T. Wesley McLaughlin.
Abigail Brooke McMullen.
Daniel John McShane.
Lindsay K. McShay.
Linda Isabel Membrano.
Catherine Elizabeth Rogers Merkin.
Anna Miriam Milovic.
Julia Elizabeth Milovic.
John Ellsworth Miller.
George David Minning.
John Garrett Moeller.
Faraz Momahedi Haravi.
Emily Brent Monaco.
Evan Charles Moore.
Grace Jones Moore.
Ryan Lawrence Moore.
Alexandra Danielle Morabito.
Christopher William Morabito.
Noah Roberts Morris.
Lena Sofia Moscol.
Emily Grace Moyer.
Catherine Barbara Malarkey.
Kimberly Ann Malarkey.
Michaela Josephine Myers.
Adisari Narayan.
Hager Ashby Neeb.
Brooke Amanda Nikander.
Jax Swift Norman.
Thomas H. Nye.
Jimin O.
John William O'Riordan.
Paul Julian Owens.
Ariana Cecilia Palacio Silva.
Matthew Dirks Palmer.
Sanjana Pandey.
Nathaniel Hamlet Papa.
Jusung Park.
Sanghee Park.
Jessica Taylor Pevner.
Ritvik Mukund Prabhu.
Anna Lee Pressman.
Clayton Arthur Proctor.
Simon William Prussian.
Julianne Puckett.
Troy Owen Purser.
Catherine Quinn.
Athena Taliana Ramirez.
Shayla Reed.
Philip Edge Reagan.
Mason Paul Ressler.
Kayla Janice Rhodes.
Matthew Joseph Rigalizzo.
Joseph William Riley.
Connor Nevins Reinhardt.
Taylor Caspian Reish Clem.
Sarah Nicole Rosenblum.
Olivia Carlisle Robinson.
Alexander John Sayans.
Francesca Louise Seance.
Aldair Andrade Salinas.
Isabella Therese Sandsted.
Courtney Het Schreiber.
Jacob Tyler Schwack.
Gabrielle Sophia Schwartz.
Travis James Schwartz.
Kevin Paul Seitz.
Louis Anthony Serlanga.
Zechariah Meek Shalev.
Gabrielle Ray Shapiro.
Emma Marie Sheehan.
Mahim Mutasir Siddiqui.
Alexandra Danielle Silvestri.
Abigail Elizabeth Slate.
Caitlin Mary Slinkard.
Dylan Hamilton Smith.
Hope Hancock Smith.
Eleanor Josephine Smith.
Alexandra Yevgeny Smolyansky.
Alexa Lou Solomon.
Peter Sambunsong.
Kevin Edward Stern.
Eric William Storer.
Robert Francis Subak.
Donald James Suker.
Jillian Elizabeth Sullivan.
Brian Stouffer Suzanen.
Michael William Sidneys.
Ryan Michael Tague.
John Parker Terlizzi.
Noah Spencer Thompson.
Jack Buckley Thompson.
Melissa Chong.
Benjamin Charles Toomey.
Hayden Scott Tourneau.
Brandon Carl Torrey.
Alana Nicole Tarunian.
Antonio Daniel Trevisani.
Julia Ann Juracek.
Victoria Brigitta Vale.
William Austin Vaughn.
Julian Gregory Von Abele.
Zachary Edmund Wade.
Richard Walther.
Iris Eining Wang.
Deja Lachey Watt.
Aiden Joseph Watts.
Thomas Peter Webb.
Benjamin Charles Webster.
Nate C. Wells.
Bradley Evan Whitebread.
Mary Grace Weedman.
Sierra Nicole Williams.
Nair Mohammed Williams.
Blake Edward Williamson.
Dennis Bowen Zhao.
May Higgins Yakel.
Kale Yuen.
Amanda Jean Zajac.
Dylan Breen Zamsky.
Erica Brooke Zaslow.
Alexandra Kelly Zay.
Darian Bernard Zanuzzi.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Jack Coons, and I am the secretary of the class of 2017. To help close out the night, on behalf of all of the graduates, I would like to thank some of the people who helped get us here. To the teachers and staff at Radnor High School, no diplomas could be handed out here tonight without all of you. Thank you for the impact you have had, not only on our academic careers, but also on our lives. To our parents and families, you have shaped who we are today, and every minute we spend on this earth, we owe to you. This is just as much your graduation as it is ours. Radnor High School, class of 2017. We made it. We're done. Not even joking, we have maybe 15 more minutes left. Then all of our high school careers are behind us. We now have a fresh start as we head out for whatever awaits us next year. Whether we may be attending Harvard, Penn State, or even taking a gap year to backpack through Thailand. We all started in the same place. We all started as nervous students walking through Radnor High School for the first time. Whether that first time was your freshman year, surrounded by many familiar faces, or even your junior year, like myself, surrounded by maybe 5 people you knew, also like myself. It doesn't matter. We all still began in the same place, because even though I didn't know many people, I was instantly welcomed into the class of 2017 as a classmate and a friend. I could never thank you enough for the way you have all treated me as more than just the new kid from Colorado. Radnor High School class of 2017, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And if I could leave you with one thing, it would be these words from the wise poet and visionary, Post Malone. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to present to you the graduates of the class of 2017.